This is the story of four dudes who loved burritos. They were East Coast guys living on the West Coast. They loved the Mission District. They loved tortillas, melted cheese, rice, and beans. They ate more burritos than anyone they knew. But then, one day, a new kind of burrito place opened. It was in the Marina District, so yeah, it was for yuppies. And haters, of course, said things like, "These aren't authentic burritos." But the four dudes didn't care. They were obsessed. This place didn't just serve Mexican burritos, it served worldly kinds of burritos, with all kinds of crazy ingredients inside a tortilla. It was called a wrap. Whenever they ate these worldly wraps, they thought, man, there's nothing like this back home. It was revolutionary. And it inspired the four dudes to drop all of their life plans and bring something similar back east. Instant fame and fortune would surely be theirs because everybody loved wraps. How could they not? They quietly opened their first shop in '97 on Mass Ave at the Berklee College of Music. There was no place like it in all of Boston. But just like a new car smell soon gives way to less appealing odors, the glory of those first few months soon came to an end. The wrap was hip, and the four dudes were feeling pretty good. The glory was back. They got some new locations in Harvard Square, Cleveland Circle, downtown Boston, even swanky Newbury Street, and eventually all the way up to Dartmouth in New Hampshire. It was good, and getting better, but not for everyone. And then there were three. One thing that was super frustrating was that there were so many menu options that they made tons of mistakes, and so they thought, let's respond to every guest, no matter what. So they did. They listened, they apologized, they gave away free burritos. They used new technology and whatever else came along to help them keep guests happy. They became obsessed, again, not just with food, but with making people happy. But soon, great food and making guests happy still weren't enough. What about the people, the employees? Were they happy? Fame and fortune were still fleeting, but if it was going to happen, it should not, could not, would not be on the underpaid backs of others. To do this, they had to blaze new trails and take care of their people in groundbreaking ways. Starbucks had made progress with health benefits in the '90s, but it wasn't enough for people to make real progress towards their dreams. They began to push wages higher, pay bonuses to all team members, offer awesome health, dental, matching 401k benefits, language classes, leadership classes, company picnics, family celebrations, and most importantly, give people who had often never before been asked a real voice in how the company grew. They knew this was important work. Burritos were about fun, but this was about people's lives. This shit actually mattered. And just as things were starting to look really good, like hair scrunchies in the '90s, wraps were suddenly out. Not rap music, but rap sandwiches. It was super scary. Even their Marina District idol disappeared. It turned out burritos were cool, not wraps. When the three guys asked how people felt about wraps, people said terrible things. Wraps were out. Burritos were in. And yet, as so many knew, there were no difference between the two. Not really, anyway. But it was too late. The whole business was called The Wrap. They were screwed. Something had to change. And it did. Boom! The dudes and some new partners decided to scrounge their pennies and hire a fancy marketing firm who researched all sorts of different possible names. In the end, they chose Boloco. And without changing one item on the menu, became not just a burrito joint, but an inspired burrito joint. And fame soon followed. Years passed, and the partners continued to aspire to making Boloco matter. With big national competitors opening everywhere, they did everything possible to be different, to be better, to make more people happy. They kept innovating. Yeah, burrito innovation. Introducing culinary traditions from all over the world into their delicious tortillas. They kept the 1 1/4 pound burrito like everyone else out there, but they also introduced a small size. That is, small if a 1-pounder is small. And the mini, which is actually disturbingly small. Food quality and sourcing and nutritional options improved with each passing year. They tackled simple things, as well as complex things. Their logo was red, but they became super green. They bought some bikes and raised lots of money for great causes. They went deep in their communities. Their default answer to good causes, sports teams, film crews, and homeless friends remained, yes, we can help. And most importantly, they continued to push the limits of how well a fast food burrito joint could take care of its people. It tweaked its mission to one that got everyone truly fired up. Corporate? Maybe. Meaningful? Damn right. Because while it started out with 4 dudes with a passion, today it's over 300 dudes and dudettes trying to better their lives, move closer to their dreams, and have some fun.
And that's where our story ends. Well, sort of, because in fact it continues. This is John Pepper. I'm one of the founders of Boloco and incredibly, still the CEO of our company. This year, Boloco turns 15 years old. We honestly have no idea how we made it this far, but we did. Our childhood and early adolescent years were tough. But now, like most teenagers, we're feeling kind of rebellious. We've got big plans in the coming years. Sure, some of that has to do with growth, starting this year when we hit the nation's capital. But honestly, growing just to grow isn't cool anymore. Sort of like those hair scrunchies going out in the 90s, growth without real purpose is yesterday's business model. At Boloco, we're not only going to continue making amazing, globally inspired food, we're not only going to continue pushing the boundaries of how a company and its guests connect, but we are fully determined to change the lives and futures of the people who work in fast food. They deserve it, we can do it, and we all win because of it. You see, in our eyes, we're just getting started, because we believe, as crazy as it may seem, that not only does a burrito aspire, but it can actually change the world. Really.